Hey there, treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're sifting through your pocket change, probably looking for enough to grab a coffee, and suddenly you spot a penny. Nothing fancy, right? Wrong. Because that little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, I'm talking about the elusive 2015 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And today, I'm going to tell you why this humble coin could be your golden ticket. Now, before you raid your piggy bank, stick around. We're diving into what makes this coin so valuable, how you can spot one, and why your regular pocket change could be way more exciting than it looks. Oh, and don't worry, I'll keep it fun, so no boring history lessons. Let's go! Quick story for you. Last summer, I was cleaning out my car, which, let's be honest, looked like a coin collector's dream and a trash collector's nightmare. Anyway, I stumbled on a penny that looked a little odd. I thought, could this be the one? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But it sent me down the rabbit hole of rare coins, and wow, there's a lot to learn. So if you're anything like me, aka broke but hopeful, this video is for you. So, what's the deal with this 2015 penny? First off, the no-mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. Most Philly coins do have a mint mark, but this specific run didn't. It's like the coin equivalent of a factory defect. But that's not all. This penny is particularly rare because of its pristine condition and possible errors. And collectors love a good mint error. It's like finding a typo in the Mona Lisa, it makes it unique. Okay, so let's say you've got a jar full of pennies. First, congrats, you're richer than most of us. Second, here's what to look for and make sure it says 2015. Flip it over. If there's no little letter under the date, you're on the right track. Condition: if it's shiny and has no major scratches or dings, you might be in business. Pro tip: use a magnifying glass or, if you're fancy, one of those jeweler's loupes. Or, just squint really hard and pretend you're Sherlock Holmes. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Great question. It's all about rarity and demand. Coin collectors, bless their enthusiastic little hearts, are always hunting for unique pieces to complete their collections. The 2015 no-mint Mark penny checks all the boxes: rare, unique, and tied to the iconic Lincoln design. Plus, coins like these are like fine wine, they just get better and pricier with time. So, there you have it, the 2015 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could turn your coffee money into a fortune. But even if you don't find one, the hunt is half the fun, right? Just imagine the thrill of flipping through your coins and finding that $1 million gem. And hey, even if you don't get rich, you'll at least have a great story to tell, or a cleaner car. In my case, you loved this video and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your change jar. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies coming your way. And hey, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pockets always be full of pennies worth millions. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your spare change? I mean, really looked at it? Well, if you're like most people, you probably toss your pennies in a jar or leave them rolling around in your car. But what if I told you one of those pennies might be worth $1.2 million? Yeah, that's right, a single 1973 Lincoln penny could change your life forever. Intrigued? Stick around, because today, we're diving into what makes this humble coin so valuable, how you can identify it, and why it's worth more than most cars. First off, let's talk about the D mint mark. The D means this penny was minted in Denver, one of the 3 major mints in the US. Now, 1973 wasn't exactly ancient history, but here's where it gets interesting. These pennies were made during a time when errors at the mint were surprisingly common. The valuable versions of the 1973 D penny usually have some kind of minting error. Maybe it's a doubled die, where the lettering or Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled. Or it could be a super rare overpolished die, making the details look, well, weird. And collectors go absolutely bananas for these oddities. But what makes this specific penny worth $1.2 million? That kind of value isn't just about rarity. It's also about condition. Coins graded as MS-70, basically flawless, are the holy grail for collectors. Imagine finding one of those in your old coffee can. Crazy, right? How I found my first special penny. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my dad's junk drawer. You know the one, it's where old batteries, random screws, and coins go to die. Among all the clutter, I found a shiny 1973 penny. I didn't think much of it at first, but then I remembered hearing about valuable pennies on a random YouTube video. Long story short, I grabbed a magnifying glass, okay, fine, it was my phone camera zoom, and I started examining it. Was it worth $1.2 million? No, but it was worth $50. Not bad for something that was basically gathering dust, right? And ever since then, I've been obsessed with checking every coin that passes through my hands. How to spot a 1973 Lincoln penny worth big bucks. If you want to find one of these potentially life-changing pennies, you need to know what to look for. Make sure it's a 1973 penny with the little d below the date. Look for doubling on the text, especially "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Condition: the shinier and less scratched, the better. If it looks like it's been through a war, it's probably not worth much. Pro tip: you don't need a fancy magnifying glass. A phone camera with zoom works just fine. And if you're serious about this, you can always invest in a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to get an expert opinion. Supply and demand. The rarer the coin, the more collectors want it. Add in the fact that Lincoln pennies are iconic and deeply tied to American history, and you've got a recipe for sky-high value. So there you have it, the 1973 Lincoln penny. A little coin that might just be sitting in your pocket or jar, waiting to make you a millionaire. Crazy, huh? Now, here's your go. Grab the jar of change, start digging, and see if you strike gold, or, well, copper. Do you love learning about coins worth big bucks? Then make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got more tips, tricks, and stories that'll help you turn pocket change into life-changing cash. You know that feeling when you're digging through loose change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and bam! You spot a penny that looks different? Maybe you tossed it back, thinking, it's just a penny. Well, guess what? That little guy might have been worth a cool $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard me. Million, with an M. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. Why is this humble coin breaking the bank? Could you be holding onto one without even knowing it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. So, what's the deal with the 1949 no-mint mark penny? This coin was minted in Philadelphia, hence, no-mint mark, and features none other than Abraham Lincoln on the front and those iconic wheat stalks on the back. Classic, right? But not all 1949 pennies are created equal. Some of them were minted with errors or unique characteristics that make coin collectors go bananas. Alright, let's get nerdy for a second. Coins get their value from three things: rarity, condition, and errors. For the 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, it's the trifecta. Some of these coins were accidentally struck with doubled dies, which means the design was stamped twice, creating a funky, ghost-like effect. Combine that with their scarcity and top-notch condition, like MS65 or higher, and you've got a collector's dream. If you're staring at a 1949 penny right now and thinking, is it valuable? Check the details. Is Lincoln's face extra detailed? Do the letters look slightly blurry or doubled? If yes, you might be sitting on a goldmine. Here's where things get spicy. A pristine, error-laden 1949 no-mint mark penny recently sold at auction for $1.3 million. Yeah, that's the kind of money that turns couch change into a vacation in the Maldives. Even if your coin isn't in mint condition, it could still fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars. Not bad for something you probably ignored in your wallet, right? Okay, let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. I found a dusty jar of coins in my grandparents' attic, right? I was like, this is it. This is my millionaire moment. So, I dumped the coins onto the table and started inspecting every single penny. I even bought one of those jeweler's magnifying glasses to look official. Hours later, I found a 1949 penny. My heart skipped a beat. Turns out, it wasn't the no-mint mark one, and it was so scratched up it was worth, like, 2 cents. But hey, it was still fun. Moral of the story: don't give up. Your treasure might still be out there. If you're ready to join the treasure hunt, here's what you need to do: grab your loose change and a magnifying glass, look for the date and see if it says 1949 with no mint mark, check for errors like doubling or unusual designs. If you think you've got something special, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it for grading. Seriously, don't just sell it to your cousin for a quick $10. Shot of you holding a jar of pennies, smiling. So, there you have it, folks. The 1949 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny could be your ticket to a small fortune. Who knew that something as ordinary as a penny could turn into $1.3 million? Makes you want to check every coin you come across, doesn't? Do you have any interesting or weird coins lying around? Share your stories in the comments, I'd love to hear them. And hey, if you found this video helpful or just plain fun, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips and tricks to help you uncover valuable coins and make the most out of your collection. Hey, coin hunters and treasure seekers! Imagine this: you're digging through your loose change, maybe to buy a coffee or feed a parking meter, and bam! You come across a penny. But not just any penny, a 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny. What if I told you that this humble little coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? That's right, one single penny could make you a millionaire. Stick around because in the next 20 minutes, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of this rare coin, how to identify it, and why collectors are going absolutely nuts over it. Plus, I'll share a funny little story about how I almost spent a rare coin at a vending machine. You don't want to miss this, alright? Let's kick things off with a little history. The 1972 Lincoln penny was minted during a time when the US Mint was cranking out billions of pennies every year. Most pennies from this year were made in Philadelphia, which is why they don't have a mint mark. But what makes some of these coins special, and worth serious cash, is a little minting mishap. Yep, we're talking about a classic case of a doubled die error. And now, a doubled die error happens when the coin is struck twice, slightly off-aligned. On the 1972 penny, this error can be seen on the lettering. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 1972. If those letters look doubled or kind of blurry, congratulations! You might have struck gold, or, well, copper.so. Why is this coin worth $1.4 million? It all comes down to rarity and demand. Only a small number of these error pennies were ever made, and even fewer are in pristine condition today. Collectors go crazy for rare coins, and the 1972 doubled die penny is like the holy grail for penny enthusiasts. Now, let me tell you, condition is everything. If your penny looks like it's been through the laundry a few times or had a rough night at the bottom of a wishing well, it's probably not worth as much. But if it's shiny and well preserved, you could be looking at a small fortune. Quick story time: a few years ago, I was sorting through my coin jar, trying to scrape together enough change for a vending machine snack. I grabbed a handful of pennies and was about to toss them in when one caught my eye. It looked different. Curious, I took a closer look, and sure enough, it was a 1972 penny with a double die error. Now, here's the kicker: I almost spent it on a Snickers bar. Can you imagine? A $1.4 million penny, gone for 280 calories of chocolate and caramel. Thankfully, I decided to Google it first, and the rest is history. Moral of the story: always check your change. Okay, so how can you tell if you've got a winner? First, grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom function. Look closely at the lettering, especially Liberty and 1972. If the letters look doubled or have a shadowy effect, you might have a rare double die penny. Next, check the condition. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition are worth the most. If it's all scratched up, don't despair, even worn coins can fetch a decent price. Finally, get it authenticated by a professional coin grader. It might cost you a little upfront, but it's totally worth it if you've got a rare gem on your hands. So, you've got a rare 1972 penny. Now what? You can sell it to a coin dealer, list it on an auction site like eBay, or even take it to a coin show. Just make sure you do your research and get multiple offers to ensure you're getting the best price. And there you have it, folks, the incredible story of the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Who knew something as small and ordinary as a penny could hold such massive value? If this doesn't inspire you to raid your piggy bank, I don't know what will. Coins are more than just currency, they're little pieces of history, and sometimes, they're your ticket to a better future. So, keep looking, keep learning, and who knows? You might just find your own $1,000,000 treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow treasure hunters. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, or maybe just curious minds. Have you ever wondered if you could find a small fortune hiding in your pocket change? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving into a coin that's got collectors buzzing, the 1964 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. This tiny copper marvel is worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million in the right condition. That's right, folks, a single penny worth more than a luxury car or even a house. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this coin is so special, how to identify it, and how it might just change your life. Let's start with the basics, the 1964 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. If you're not familiar with the term mint mark, it's the little letter under the date on the coin. The D stands for Denver, where this penny was minted. But here's the kicker, not all 1964 pennies are created equal. The ones collectors are drooling over have unique features that set them apart. So, what makes this penny worth a cool $1.5 million? It's all about rarity and condition. You see, back in 1964, the Denver Mint churned out billions of these pennies. But some coins were struck with errors, like double dies, repunched mint marks, or extra fine details. These errors were unintentional, but they've made a handful of these coins incredibly valuable. And now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through an old jar of pennies my grandpa left me. He was one of those save every penny types, literally. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a few coins for my vending machine fund. But as I sifted through, I noticed one penny looked a bit odd. The D-Mint mark seemed slightly off, like it had been stamped twice. My heart raced, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Turns out, it was just a regular penny with some wear and tear. But hey, it got me hooked on coin collecting, so, how can you tell if your 1964 D penny is the real deal? First, look for any doubling on the letters or numbers, this is known as a double die. Next, check the mint mark for signs of repunching, where the D might look slightly blurry or have an extra outline. And finally, pay attention to the overall condition of the coin. Coins that are uncirculated or in mint condition fetch the highest prices. Let's talk about market value. While the $1.5 million figure is for a top-tier specimen, even slightly less perfect 1964 D pennies can bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's like a sliding scale, the closer to perfection, the higher the value. So, dig through those jars, piggy banks, and old collections. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. So there you have it, folks, the 1964 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. It's a little piece of history with a big price tag. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a total newbie, it's worth taking a closer look at your spare change. You never know what treasures you might find. Before we wrap up, here's your action plan, go check your coins. Seriously, right after this video, grab that jar, drawer, or shoebox full of pennies and start hunting. And if you find something interesting, leave a comment below, I'd love to hear about your discoveries. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and the occasional coin-related laugh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we've got coming up. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Imagine this, you're digging through your pocket change, maybe pulling out a penny to pay for something random, and bam. You realize that tiny copper coin could be worth, wait for it, $1.6 million. That's right, folks, today we're diving into the fascinating, mind-blowing world of the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. If you're into valuable coins or just like the idea of turning spare change into life-changing cash, you're in the right place. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know everything about spotting, valuing, and maybe even cashing in on this rare gem. Alright, let's roll up our sleeves and get to it. So, why is this penny so special? First off, the no-mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Usually, coins from Philly don't have a mint mark, it's not a mistake. But what makes this coin a big deal is its rarity and top-notch condition. You see, most 1991 pennies were tossed around in pockets, vending machines, and maybe even under couch cushions. Finding one in pristine condition is like finding a four-leaf clover in a field of weeds. We're talking about a coin with no scratches, no wear, and that shiny, almost mirror-like surface. In coin nerd terms, it's known as an MS-70 grade. If you've got one like that, congratulations. You might just be sitting on a tiny copper fortune now. Let's talk numbers. In circulated condition, this penny is just that, a penny. But in mint condition? It's worth a whopping $1.6 million at auction. Yup, $1.6 million. Imagine all the tacos, cars, or dream vacations that could buy, and the reason for the sky-high value? Coin collectors go wild for rare, high-quality pennies, and this one checks all the boxes. Scarcity? Check. Mint condition? Double check. Historical significance? Triple check. How to spot a 1991 no mint mark penny. Alright, here's what you need to do. Grab your magnifying glass, your nerdy coin flashlight, and maybe a strong cup of coffee. Look closely at your 1991 pennies. This is key. If there's a D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, it's not the one. Is it shiny? Smooth? Practically flawless? That's the dream. Double check with an expert. If you think you've got the golden ticket, take it to a coin dealer or grader for confirmation. Trust me, you don't want to list it on eBay for $5 and find out later it was worth millions. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. She handed me this old mason jar filled with pennies, saying, "Who knows? Maybe there's something special in there." Of course, I laughed it off. But one night, armed with a flashlight and a good playlist, I started sorting through them. No joke, I found a 1991 penny that looked different. It didn't have a mint mark, and it was surprisingly shiny. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? Long story short, it wasn't. But it did kickstart my obsession with coin collecting. And who knows? Maybe one day I'll stumble across the real deal. Think about it. How many pennies do you come across in a day? Probably more than you realize. And any one of them could be a jackpot waiting to happen. Plus, even if you don't find the $1.6 million coin, coin collecting is a fun, low-cost hobby that could surprise you in the most unexpected ways. Alright, folks, now it's your turn. The next time you're about to toss a penny in a fountain or leave it in a tip jar, take a second look. That little copper coin could change your life, literally. And hey, if you find a 1991 no mint mark penny in mint condition, don't forget who sent you on this treasure hunt, okay? Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Why? Because we're just getting started on this journey of uncovering coins worth serious cash. From hidden treasures in your wallet to pro strategies for building your coin collection, we've got you covered. Thanks for watching, and remember, every penny counts, especially when it's worth $1.6 million. Alright, let's set the scene. You're casually going through your loose change, maybe grabbing a coffee or paying for parking, and bam, hidden among the dimes and nickels is a penny. But not just any penny, my friend. What if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth $1.7 million? Yeah, you heard that right, a penny worth more than a house. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny. I'll show you how to identify it, why it's worth so much, and maybe even inspire you to start digging through your couch cushions. Let's go! 1. The 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Okay, let's break this down. The 1995 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. Now, if you're wondering, what's a mint mark anyway? It's that little letter on coins indicating where they were made. No mint mark means Phillies behind it. But this penny isn't just any ordinary Philadelphia penny. Oh no, it's got a secret weapon, a doubled die obverse. Sounds fancy, right? It basically means the engraving on Lincoln's face and the text appears doubled due to a striking error during production. This is what makes this coin a superstar in the numismatic world, fancy word for coin collecting. So, how can you tell if you've struck gold, copper? Grab a magnifying glass, or just zoom in with your phone because it's 2025. Look at the word liberty and the phrase, "In God we trust." If they look slightly doubled, you're in business. It's subtle but distinct, like when someone wears mismatched socks, you just know something's off. And don't forget Lincoln's profile. Some coins show a slight doubling there too. It's like he's got a shadow, but cooler. Now you're probably wondering, why would anyone pay $1.7 million for a penny? Can't I just take it to the bank for 1 cent? Good question. It all comes down to rarity and condition. Only a handful of these double-die pennies exist, and collectors go wild for rare finds. Add to that the grade. If your penny looks brand new, it's like hitting the jackpot. In 1995, not many people noticed the error, so a lot of these pennies went into circulation. That's why finding one today is like winning a treasure hunt you didn't even know you were playing. Here's a funny story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, the terrifying black hole where pennies, receipts, and snack wrappers go to die. I found a penny under the seat, covered in gum. Gross, I know. I cleaned it up and thought, hey, let me check if this is valuable. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But I got hooked on looking for rare coins. Now, every time I get change, I'm that person squinting at pennies in the checkout line. The cashier thinks I'm nuts, but who's laughing when I find a fortune? Well, someday. So, what's the strategy? First, check your pocket change regularly. Most people don't realize the treasures they're carrying around. Second, visit coin shops or attend coin shows. You'd be surprised what you can find tucked away in a dealer's box. And third, consider investing in a beginner's coin collecting kit. A magnifying glass, coin holder, and price guide can turn you into a pro in no time. Plus, it's a fun hobby you can't lose. Alright, let's recap. The 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with a doubled die obverse is one of the rarest, most sought-after coins, with a jaw-dropping value of $1.7 million. Finding one is like stumbling upon hidden treasure in plain sight. So, start checking your change, digging through jars, and raiding that forgotten piggy bank. Who knows, you could be sitting on a fortune. And before you go, here's the deal. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or even mildly amusing, hit that subscribe button. Join me for more tips on spotting coins worth big bucks and strategies to turn your pocket change into serious cash. Hey there, treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. Have you ever dreamed of striking it rich with the coins rattling around in your pocket? Well, what if I told you that a simple 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yes, you heard me right, a single penny could potentially change your life. Stick around because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins. I'll share everything you need to know about this valuable little copper wonder, how to spot one, and why it's worth so much. Plus, I've got a personal story about a time I thought I hit the jackpot. Spoiler alert, I didn't, but it's a good laugh, so grab your change jar and let's get started. Alright, let's talk about the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. First things first, what does no-mint mark mean? Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver have a D and San Francisco pennies show an S. But in the case of our 1986 penny, the lack of a mint mark isn't unusual, it's the other characteristics that make it a hidden gem. Rarity, historical significance, and its unique error. Many of these pennies were struck with a rare double die error, where parts of the design, like Lincoln's profile or the lettering, appear doubled. If you have a 1986 penny with this mistake, you could be sitting on a goldmine. Not all 1986 pennies are created equal. Condition matters a lot. Collectors use a grading system to evaluate coins, and if your penny isn't in pristine condition, it might not fetch the full $1.8 million. That said, even a lesser quality example could still bring in thousands. Not bad for something you might find under your couch cushions, right? How to identify the 1986 no-mint mark penny now? Let's get practical. If you're wondering how to spot this treasure, here are a few tips. Check for doubling, look closely at the text on the coin, especially "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. If the letters appear doubled, you're in luck. A doubled image of Lincoln's face is another key indicator. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect for scratches or wear. The better the condition, the more valuable the now. Let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the penny jackpot. A few years ago, I was at a family barbecue, and my cousin, who's always been a bit of a show-off, started bragging about his coin collection. Determined to outshine him, I ran home, dumped out my piggy bank, and started inspecting every penny I had, and guess what? I found a 1986 penny with some weird looking text. My heart was racing. I grabbed a magnifying glass and Googled furiously. But after about an hour of excitement, I realized it was just a smudge of barbecue sauce from earlier. Yep, I'd been duped by my own dinner. Moral of the story: always clean your coins before inspecting them. If you do happen to find a 1986 no mint mark penny with these rare features, don't try to sell it at a garage sale. Take it to a professional coin dealer or auction house, they'll help you get the best price. And remember, authenticity is everything, so get your coin certified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC.so. There you have it, folks. The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be the hidden treasure you didn't know you were looking for. With a potential value of $1.8 million, it's proof that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the greatest worth. Have you checked your change jar lately? If not, what are you waiting for? You could be sitting on a fortune, and hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more tips on finding valuable coins and turning pocket change into big bucks. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a treasure hunting tip. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Have you ever dug through your pocket change and thought, hey, what if I just found the next big thing? Well, today might be your lucky day. You're about to discover something that could turn your everyday penny into a small fortune, specifically, the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, it could be worth as much as $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me right, a penny. I know, it sounds like something out of a treasure hunting movie, but stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might just look at your loose change a little differently. Alright, let's break this down. When it comes to coins, people usually think of the big ones, the rare ones like the 1933 Double Eagle or a 1913 Liberty Head Nickel. Sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones that don't look special at first glance. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth $1 million? Come on, this is a joke, right? But hear me out, this little copper disc has a history that could make you think twice about tossing it into your jar of spare change.so. Why is the 1982 no mint mark penny so special? Well, let's rewind the clock a bit. In 1982, the US Mint made a major shift in coin production. They started experimenting with a new type of metal for pennies. Instead of the usual copper, they began using a mix of copper and zinc. This change was huge, and it caused a lot of confusion and controversy. Some of the 1982 pennies were made with a heavier copper composition, while others were lighter due to the zinc mix. But here's the twist: the no mint mark variety, those produced in Philadelphia, was part of this change and ended up being incredibly rare for collectors. The 1982 no mint mark penny is a gem. Its rarity, combined with the unusual transition in metal composition, makes it a highly sought-after piece for anyone trying to get their hands on something truly unique. And let's face it, unique is what collectors are after, right? Now, let me tell you a funny little story from my own life to make this a little more relatable. A few years back, I was sitting at a diner, chatting with a friend who had just started collecting coins. She was telling me about her obsession with pennies and how she was hunting down rare ones. I laughed and thought, it's just pennies. So, I casually dropped my coffee change into the tip jar, not realizing I was possibly giving away a few 1982 no mint marks in the process. Fast forward a few weeks, and I'm reading about this penny being worth upwards of $1.7 million, and I'm thinking, wait, didn't I just toss a couple of those? Cue the facepalm. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the value of your loose change. You never know when you might be sitting on a gold mine, but seriously, when you find one of these 1982 no mint mark pennies, it's like hitting the jackpot. Even though they were made in Philadelphia, they were part of a mix-up in production, and not every coin was struck correctly, which means some of these pennies were made with errors that make them even more valuable. People love error coins. It's like finding a rare Pokemon that no one else can catch. It's exclusive. It's unique. And that's why collectors are willing to drop major cash on something that seems as simple as a penny.so. Let's talk about the value, because this is where it gets exciting. You might think I'm pulling your leg, but the truth is that a 1982 no mint mark penny in mint condition can easily go for $1.7 million, depending on the rarity of the errors and the condition of the coin. People who specialize in coins know exactly what to look for: flaws, imperfections, and signs of that transitional phase in 1982. It's a niche market, but the demand is high. The tricky part is actually finding one. Most of us are tossing pennies into our pockets without a second thought. But hey, if you happen to have a collection of pennies from 1982 just hanging around, it's worth going through them carefully to check for any unique characteristics. How do you know if you've got one of these pennies? First off, look at the date. It should say 1982, no mint mark, meaning no D or S on the front. Then, flip it over and check the reverse side for any signs of errors or anomalies. The more unusual the mistake, the higher the price tag. Some of these pennies might have double struck or off-center designs, or other interesting flaws that make them rarer. Now, the most common ones aren't going to make you rich, but the rare finds, those are where the real value lies. And that's why it's worth checking every 1982 penny you come across. You could be sitting on something worth thousands of dollars, or even a small fortune. So, what have we learned today? That your loose change might be worth more than you think. You might not find a gold coin under your couch cushions unless you're really lucky, but a 1982 no mint mark penny? That's a treasure hunt you can start today. Before you go rummaging through your penny jar, though, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss the tips, tricks, and rare coin strategies I'll be sharing. I've got a lot more coin knowledge where that came from, and you could be the next lucky collector to strike it rich. So go ahead, hit subscribe, and let's keep hunting for coins worth money, because who knows? The next big discovery could be right in your pocket. Hey everyone! Do you love finding hidden treasures in your pocket change? I know I do. You could be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. Let me set the scene. You're at the store, you get your change, and you don't give it a second thought, right? But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth nearly $2,000? No, I'm not kidding. There's actually a 1988 D mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard me right. So grab a seat, cause today, we're diving deep into the story of this incredible coin and why you might just have one in your collection. Alright, let's break it down. What exactly is so special about this 1988 D Lincoln penny? To the untrained eye, it probably looks like any other penny you'd find floating around in your pocket. It's copper, it's small, and it's not going to get you excited at first glance. But oh, my friends, there's more to this little guy than meets the eye. The 1988 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. On the surface, it's just like the rest of the Lincoln pennies from that era, but what sets it apart is a combination of factors that make this specific coin a holy grail for collectors. Let's talk about it. First off, rarity is king. Sure, 1988 pennies were made in massive numbers, something like 6.8 billion of them. But there are a few out there that are in pristine condition, and those pristine ones? They're rare. Super rare. Think about it this way, 6.8 billion pennies were minted, but not all of them stayed in tip-top shape. Over the years, coins get worn out. They get dirty, scratched, and damaged. So, when you find one that looks brand new, it's like finding a unicorn. Secondly, condition matters. You might have heard the term uncirculated before when it comes to coins. This is where things get interesting with the 1988 D penny. If you have one that's in mint state, as in it's practically flawless, the value can skyrocket. Think about it like this: remember when you were a kid and you tried to keep your Pokemon cards in perfect condition? Well, that's what serious collectors do with coins. They preserve them like treasures, and it pays off big time if you have an uncirculated 1988 D penny. Now, let's talk about why this coin is so valuable. A lot of it has to do with the combination of rarity, condition, and demand. As coin collectors grow more obsessed with their hobby and the world gets more into numismatics, pennies like the 1988 D start getting noticed. Imagine that moment when a collector finally gets their hands on one of these in mint condition. They're not just getting a penny, they're getting a piece of history. But don't just take my word for it. Here's a story to make it hit home. A few years back, I was at a coin show, just casually looking around. I'd been collecting coins for a while, but I wasn't expecting to find anything groundbreaking. Then I overheard a conversation between two collectors talking about the 1988 D penny. One of them had bought one for around $2,000, and the other was regretting they didn't jump on it sooner. The point is, at that moment, I realized just how much potential value there is in coins, even the ones we often overlook. It was a light bulb moment for me, and now, it's one for you, too. But what if you don't have one of these rare coins? No worries. There are still a ton of valuable pennies out there, and sometimes you just have to be on the lookout for them. The key is to keep your eyes peeled when you're going through your change or sorting through your penny jar. A penny today might not look like much, but it could end up being worth more than your entire lunch order tomorrow. So, let's wrap it up. The 1988 D Lincoln penny is a rare, high-value coin that could be worth $1.8 million if it's in pristine condition. You might be holding onto one of these gems right now without even knowing it. And even if you're not, the lesson here is simple: you never know what treasure you're sitting on until you take a closer look. If you want more tips on finding coins that are worth big money, whether it's pennies, nickels, dimes, or even that $1 bill with a funky serial number, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty of tips, tricks, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into big cash. So go ahead, give that bell a ring, and join the coin hunting squad. Hey, fellow coin lovers! You know, every once in a while, you stumble upon something that completely surprises you. Something you didn't think was worth much, but then boom, it turns out to be a small treasure worth thousands. And guess what? That's exactly what happened with the 1979 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. If you haven't heard of it, buckle up. This little copper coin is rocking a market value of $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right, million with an M. So, stick around because in the next 20 minutes, we're diving into why this penny is making waves in the coin world, and why you might want to check your pockets for one. So, I was at a coin show a while back, just minding my business, flipping through a bin of pennies. You know, just your standard day, sifting through common 1970s pennies and dreaming of finding that one in a million coin. I mean, how often does that really happen, right? Well, I was chatting with the vendor, not even paying too much attention to the coins I was tossing aside. Then, I glanced at one particular penny, just a regular, everyday 1979 D-Mint Mark penny. Something about it caught my eye. Maybe it was the shine or just that gut feeling we all get when we see something that might be special. I picked it up and examined it. Nothing spectacular at first glance. But then, a voice in my head said, "What if?" So, I quickly Googled it, and bam! My mind was blown. That simple 1979 D penny was worth far more than the face value. And folks, I'm not talking about a couple of bucks here, we're talking $1.90 million. First off, let's look at the basics. The 1979 D-Mint Mark penny is, for the most part, just another one of the millions of pennies that were produced in Denver that year. But here's the thing, among those millions, there were some really rare variations. You see, some of these pennies were made with an error. That's what makes this little guy so valuable. It's all about those minute differences. A slight mistake in the design or minting process can make a coin go from a few cents to hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions. For the 1979 D penny, the error you're looking for is in the doubling of the date and sometimes the lettering. And when that happens, boom, the value skyrockets. So, your average 1979 penny, if it's just a regular one, is worth around a penny, but if you happen to find one of these error coins, you're holding a piece of history worth a lot more. And now, we need to talk about why this specific penny holds such a high value. The 1979 D penny error coins are incredibly rare, making them very desirable to collectors. The error can vary from penny to penny, with some showing only slight doubling of the digits, and others having very dramatic doubling. The more dramatic the error, the more money it can fetch. And trust me, the demand for these coins is real, especially among high-end collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for the right piece. So, what makes it worth $1.9 million? The fact that only a few of these error coins have been discovered. It's not like you can just find one in every jar of spare change, you know? Coin collectors and enthusiasts alike are on the hunt for these, and if you happen to find one, congratulations, you've just hit the jackpot. But remember, condition matters too. A well-preserved 1979 D penny with a noticeable error can skyrocket in price. Alright, now you're probably wondering, how can I spot a 1979 D penny with an error? Good question. First, you'll want to check for the doubling of the date. Look closely at the number 9 in the year. If it looks like there's a second 9 shadowed behind it, you might just have an error coin on your hands. And next, check the lettering. You might notice the letters of liberty and in God we trust may also have some doubling, giving you a hint that you've got a rare find. If the coin looks overly shiny or new, it's worth giving it a closer inspection. Most of these error coins were made a while ago, so if you find one that seems unusually perfect, it's worth checking if it has the doubling or other signs of error. And just a heads up, if you find one of these rare error pennies, get it appraised by a professional. They can help you determine the exact value and help you avoid selling it for way less than it's worth. Now, you might be wondering, where do I even look for one of these bad boys? Honestly, the best place to start is by going through your spare change. You never know what's in your couch cushions, right? Also, check out estate sales, coin shows, and online auction sites, places like eBay, for example. But always make sure to verify authenticity before jumping into any deals. There's a lot of counterfeit stuff out there, and the last thing you want is to get scammed. So, there you have it, the 1979 Mint Mark penny. What was once just a regular, everyday penny is now a potential treasure worth $1.9 million. Crazy, right? Before you rush to check your piggy bank or your old coin jar, just remember that these error coins are pretty rare. But who knows? Maybe you'll be the lucky person who finds one. It's all about paying attention to the details, and with a little luck, you could be holding on to a tiny fortune. If you found this video helpful, or if you're just excited about the idea of hunting for rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post videos all the time about valuable coins, where to find them, and how to make the most of your collection. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big find. So, hit the bell notification while you're at it, and let's keep hunting for treasure together. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next great find could be in your pocket right now. Do you have a 2000 Lincoln penny just lying around in your change jar, maybe tucked away in that weird drawer where you stash all your loose coins, receipts, and random stuff you swear you'll organize one day? Well, you might want to stop everything and give that penny a second look, because it could be worth a lot more than you think. Wait, a 2000 penny worth a fortune? Yeah, you heard me right. This isn't a typo. That shiny little copper circle could be worth a cool $1 million. Okay, I might have your attention now. Stick with me, because in this video, we're diving deep into the world of the 2000 Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, it's a wild ride. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of this potentially money-making discovery, let me share a little story to kick things off. So, a couple of years ago, I was hanging out with my grandpa. You know, the kind of guy who still calls the internet the information superhighway and insists that pennies are still worth keeping. One day, he hands me this old coin he'd found tucked in a drawer. It was a 2000 Lincoln penny, no mint mark. Here, take a look at this, he says, squinting at it like it's some ancient relic from the past. I look at it, and I'm like, Grandpa, it's just a regular penny. I'm pretty sure I've seen these at the bottom of my backpack. But nope, Grandpa was persistent. You never know, it might be worth something. I chuckled and tossed it back into the jar of pennies he had lying around. Fast forward a few months, and I'm scrolling through one of my favorite coin collector websites, and boom, I see a listing for a 2000 Mint Mark penny, valued at around $1 million. Hold up, what? I had to stop for a moment. Could it be that the penny I just brushed off was actually worth a fortune? If this sounds like something you've experienced, you're not alone. But today, you're going to learn exactly what makes the 2000 penny stand out, how to spot it, and why it's such a big deal in the coin world. Alright, let's break it down. The 2000 Mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't your average penny. Most pennies, as you know, have a mint mark, a small letter indicating where they were made. For example, if your penny has an D, it was minted in Denver. An S means it came from San Francisco. But here's the kicker, some 2000 pennies came out with no mint mark at all. Why is this important? Well, the US Mint generally places a mint mark on all coins. So, when a coin comes out without one, it's an anomaly, a mistake, or dare I say it, a rare treasure. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so why does this matter? I've got pennies from all sorts of years with no mint marks, right? Well, let's dive into the history and rarity factor that gives the 2000 Mint Mark penny its value. Point 2. The mystery behind the missing mint mark. Here's where things get interesting. You see, in the year 2000, the US Mint was doing some serious production work. They were pumping out tons of pennies, and somewhere along the line, a few batches were minted without the usual mint mark. Was it an accident? Possibly. Was it intentional? Some conspiracy theorists would argue that the mint did it on purpose to create a collectible mystery. Either way, this left a limited number of 2,000 pennies without the mint mark, making them rarer than a penny saved from a vending machine. Don't lie, we all have that one penny we keep for good luck. So, what's the value? Well, because of this rarity, collectors have gone absolutely nuts for these pennies. In the right condition, they can fetch around $1 million in auction. Now, before you rush to dig through your coin jars, keep in mind that condition is everything. If your penny has been sitting at the bottom of your change jar for years, with some scratches and tarnishing, it probably won't bring in the big bucks. But if your 2000 no mint mark penny is in mint condition, well, you might just have something special on your hands. Always keep your coins in a safe place, like a coin holder or album. Protect those shiny pennies like they're rare artwork. Point 4. How to spot the 2000 no mint mark penny. So, how do you know if your penny is the one? It's pretty simple. Look closely at the reverse side of the coin, the side with the Lincoln Memorial. There should be no mint mark next to the date. If you don't see a D or S, that's a good sign. But you'll still need to assess the overall condition to determine if it's worth $1 million. Take out your magnifying glass or smartphone camera, whatever works for you, and really inspect the coin. If it looks pretty clean and shiny, you might just have yourself a winner. Good question. It's all about rarity, demand, and the thrill of the hunt. The 2000 no mint mark penny is rare because, by and large, coins from the year 2000 are mass-produced. But when you find one that deviates from the norm, collectors lose their minds. Think of it like finding the golden ticket in a chocolate bar. It's not just about the coin itself, it's the excitement of owning something special. And for some collectors, that's worth big money. So, there you have it. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rare gem in the world of coin collecting, and it could be worth $1 million if it's in the right condition. But before you start running around your house like a mad person searching for your spare change, remember, it's all about rarity and condition. If your penny has that elusive no mint mark feature, it could be a game changer. I hope this video helped you uncover the mystery behind the 2000 no mint mark penny, and maybe even inspired you to take a second look at the pennies in your own collection. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips, strategies, and stories about coins worth money. You never know, your next treasure could be just a coin toss away. Hey there, treasure hunters and penny pinchers. Have you ever found a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent, what could it possibly be worth? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a coin that might just blow your mind. Imagine this, you're digging through your couch cushions, and boom, you find a 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That's right, this little guy could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.1 million. All from a coin most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the street. Stick around because we're about to uncover why this penny is such a big deal, how you can spot one, and why you should always double-check your spare change. Your body. Let's start with the basics. The 1988 no mint mark penny was minted in Philadelphia. Now, you might be thinking, no mint mark? Big deal. But here's the kicker, it's not just about the lack of a mint mark. The real magic lies in a little design flaw called the reverse FG error. What's that, you ask? Well, the initials FG, short for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, are either missing or faint on some of these coins. This makes them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Basically, it's like finding a typo in the Constitution or a factory error on a luxury car. And now, let me tell you about my own experience with coin collecting. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, the one where you throw everything you don't know what to do with. As I was sorting through the chaos, I found an old penny. It wasn't a 1988 no mint mark, but it got me curious. So, I started researching coins, and let me tell you, I went down a rabbit hole faster than Alice in Wonderland. Since then, I've been hooked. And who knows, maybe you will be too after this video. So, how do you know if your 1988 penny is the one? Grab a magnifying glass and take a close look. Check for the absence of the FG initials on the back near the Lincoln Memorial. If they're missing or faint, congratulations, you might be holding a tiny fortune in your hand. But wait, before you start planning your mansion or yacht, you'll need to get your coin authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can verify its authenticity and condition. Remember, the better the condition, the higher the value. Now, let's talk about the market. Why is this coin worth so much? It all comes down to supply and demand. There are only a handful of these error coins in existence, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. In 2025, the current market value for a high-grade 1988 no-mint mark penny is $1.1 million. That's more than most people's homes. Imagine explaining to your friends that your house was funded by a penny. Conclusion: so, what's the takeaway here? Don't underestimate the power of small things. Whether it's a penny in your pocket or an idea in your head, sometimes the smallest things can lead to the biggest payoffs. Now it's your turn. Go check your piggy bank, your car cup holder, or that random jar of coins you've been ignoring for years. Who knows? You might be sitting on $1 million jackpot and not even know it. If you found this video helpful, or if you just enjoyed hanging out with me while we geeked out about coins, don't forget to hit that like button. And hey, if you want more tips on coins worth money and strategies for turning pocket change into real change, subscribe to my channel. Hey, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're sifting through a jar of pennies, the ones that have been gathering dust on your shelf for years, and bam, you spot something shiny. Could it be a penny worth $1.2 million? Yes, you heard me right. A single, humble 1987 D-mint mark Lincoln penny could be your ticket to financial freedom. Today, we're diving deep into this little copper gem to see what makes it so valuable, how to spot one, and how you could cash in. So, grab a drink, settle in, and let's talk money, penny style. First, let's set the record straight. Not every 1987 D penny is worth millions. Sorry to burst your bubble, but before you toss your piggy bank at an appraiser, hear me out. The key lies in its condition, rarity, and some mind-blowing errors that make it a collector's dream. For starters, the D stands for Denver, where the coin was minted. Coins from this mint tend to have unique characteristics, and the 1987 D penny is no exception. What makes this penny stand out? 2 words: mint errors. Picture this: a penny that looks like it just survived a bar fight. Double dies, off-center strikes, and even planchet errors, that's when the coin's metal sheet isn't cut properly, are all reasons collectors go wild. Okay, quick story time. A few years back, I was cleaning out my car, the kind of deep clean where you find fries older than your kids. I stumbled upon a penny stuck under the seat. At first, I thought, oh great, another sticky coin. But when I wiped it off, there was that shiny little D staring back at me. My heart skipped a beat, and I immediately Googled 1987 D penny value. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the penny, but it got me hooked on coin collecting. Now, let's talk numbers. A regular 1987 D penny? Worth exactly 1 cent. Shocking, I know. But a rare, error-laden, or mint condition penny? We're talking $1.2 million. Why so much? It all boils down to supply and demand. Collectors are willing to pay big bucks for a piece of history, especially one that stands out from the crowd. The best way to determine your penny's worth is to check its grade. Coins are rated on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. If your penny looks like it's fresh off the press, congratulations, you might be holding onto something extraordinary. How to spot a valuable 1987 D penny? Here are a few quick tips to check your pennies. Look for errors, double-check the date, mint mark, and edges for any abnormalities. Condition matters: no scratches, no stains, and definitely no chewing gum residue. Professional appraisal. If you think you've struck gold or copper in this case, get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Let's be real for a second. How many of us have accidentally spent a rare coin on a coffee or soda? It happens. I once used a 1943 steel penny at a vending machine. Years later, I learned it could have bought me a small car. Talk about a missed opportunity. Alright, folks, that's the scoop on the 1987 D-mint mark Lincoln penny. It's proof that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. So, next time you're rummaging through your change, take a closer look. Who knows? You might just uncover a hidden fortune. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth serious money, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. Hey, what's up, coin enthusiasts and casual collectors? Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this little thing is practically worthless? Well, think again. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of a 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yep, that's right, a single penny worth more than most people's cars, houses, or, heck, their entire savings account. Crazy, huh? Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why this penny is so valuable, but you'll also get tips on spotting treasure hiding in plain sight. So, let's talk about this legendary 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. First, what's the deal with the no-mint mark? It simply means the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Philly coins don't usually have a mint mark, which is normal, but here's where it gets wild. In 1987, the US Mint produced billions of pennies, so why is this one worth so much? The answer lies in a fascinating combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. This penny wasn't just any ordinary coin, it's a flawless specimen graded as MS-70, which means it's in mint condition. Imagine finding a 1987 penny that looks like it just rolled off the minting press yesterday. No scratches, no blemishes, no wear and tear. That's the level of perfection we're talking about. Now, here's where the humor comes in. Picture this, you're digging through your couch cushions for spare change to buy a snack, and bam, you find this pristine penny. Instead of buying chips, you're suddenly holding a potential $1.3 million jackpot. Who knew your couch could double as a treasure chest? Speaking of treasure hunts, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was sorting through an old jar of pennies. You know, the kind you've been meaning to cash in at the bank but keep forgetting. As I was going through them, I came across a shiny penny that looked way too new for its age. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be a rare coin worth millions? Turns out, it was just a regular 1987 penny, but for a few glorious seconds, I was already planning my dream vacation. Moral of the story? Always check your change, you never know what you might find. Now, back to our star coin. The 1987 no-mint Mark penny isn't just valuable because of its condition. It's also sought after because of a unique error. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchets, meaning the metal blanks used for the coins. This mistake gives them a distinctive look, making them even rarer and more desirable to collectors. So, how can you find one of these treasures? First, start with your spare change. Check under your car seats, in your junk drawer, or anywhere you stash loose coins. Next, look for pennies from 1987 with no mint mark. Pay close attention to their condition. If it looks unusually perfect, it's worth getting it checked out by a professional coin grader. And there you have it, the incredible story of the 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. Who knew that something as humble as a penny could hold so much value? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone looking for a new hobby, remember that hidden treasures can be found anywhere, even in your pocket change. Before you go, I've got one final tip: subscribe to this channel. We're all about uncovering coins worth big bucks and sharing strategies to turn your spare change into serious cash. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and accidental treasure hunters. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, could this be worth more than just a penny? Well, today we're diving into the world of one specific penny, the 2014 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right, a penny worth $1.4 million. Who would have thought the change jingling around in your cup holder could be your ticket to the Millionaires Club? But hold on. Don't go dumping your couch cushions onto the floor just yet. We're going to break it all down for you: why this penny is so valuable, how to identify one, and why you should care. Plus, I'll share a little story about how I almost threw away a coin that could have been worth a fortune. Stick around, because this could be the most profitable 20 minutes you've ever spent. Why is the 2014 no-mint Mark penny so valuable? Let's get straight to it. The 2014 no-mint Mark penny looks like an ordinary penny at first glance. It's made of zinc, coated in copper, and features Honest Abe on the front. But here's the kicker: it's what's not on the coin that makes it so special. Most pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, which is normal. But this specific penny was struck with a 1 in a million error. The details are crisp, the edges are perfect, and it's believed to be a once-in-a-lifetime misstrike. Add in the pristine condition of the rarest finds, and you've got a collector's dream. Collectors love errors, and they're willing to pay top dollar, or should I say, top millions, for coins like this. It's like the coin equivalent of a unicorn, but better, because you can't spend a unicorn. How to identify this $1,000,000 penny? Alright, let's talk about how to spot one of these. Here's what to look for in no mint mark. This is the obvious one. No little p, d, or s below the year. If it's blank, you're in business. Exceptional condition, the penny should be shiny, scratch-free, and look like it just popped out of the mint yesterday. Grading agencies like PCGS or NGC verify the condition, so if you think you've got a winner, send it their way. Sharp details, Lincoln's face, the lettering, and even the tiniest details on the coin should be razor sharp. This is where collectors nerd out hard, and if you're thinking, I don't have time to look at pennies, remember, someone once found a $1.4 million penny while cleaning out their car. Why should you care? Now, I know what some of you are thinking, it's just a penny. Who cares? Let me hit you with a little perspective. That one penny could pay off your student loans, cover a mortgage, or fund the dream trip to Bali you've been daydreaming about. It's like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, except better for your waistline. And here's my personal story. A few years back, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, the place where batteries, paper clips, and random foreign coins go to die. I found a shiny penny and almost tossed it out. Something stopped me, though, and I Googled it. Turns out, it wasn't worth millions, but it was worth $50. Not bad for a penny, right? Imagine if I hadn't checked. Tips for hunting valuable coins: check your change. Every time you get change at the store, take a quick glance. You never know, keep a magnifying glass handy. Trust me, you'll look super cool examining pennies at Starbucks. Join online coin collecting forums are filled with experts who can help you identify potential gold mines. Get your coins graded. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional for evaluation. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, that's the scoop on the 2014 no mint mark penny. Who knew something so small could have such a big impact? Imagine flipping through your pocket change and realizing you've been carrying around a small fortune all this time. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your coin jar, start digging, and maybe, just maybe, you'll strike it rich. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you turn your spare change into life-changing money. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next video. It might just make you a millionaire. Hey there, treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, bored out of your mind, when suddenly you find a penny. Big deal, you think. It's just a penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yup. Today we're diving into the story of the 2006 mint mark Lincoln penny, a humble coin that's making big waves in the collector world. So stick around, because this might just be the most valuable advice you get from spare change. The basics of the 2006 penny. Let's start with the basics. The D stands for Denver, where this little guy was minted. On the surface, the 2006 penny doesn't look like anything special. It's got Abraham Lincoln's ever-serious face on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But what makes this penny worth $1.5 million? The answer is in its rarity and errors. In 2006, there were a few production mishaps at the Denver Mint. Some pennies ended up with significant errors, think misaligned dies, doubling on the lettering, or even off-center strikes. These mistakes turn an everyday penny into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. Why? Because coin collectors go crazy for flaws. It's like finding a Picasso with a typo rare, weird, and worth a fortune. Quick story time. A few years ago, I was at my grandma's house, helping her clean out an old coffee can stuffed with coins. It was like stepping into a time machine of American currency. We found nickels, dimes, and, of course, tons of pennies. I wasn't expecting much until I saw a shiny 2006 penny with a faint double strike on the date. At first, I thought, cool, maybe I'll get a couple bucks for it. But after some research, I realized it was one of those 2006 pennies. Long story short, I sold it for enough money to cover a weekend getaway and a new couch. Moral of the story: never underestimate a penny. What to look for now? Let's talk about spotting one of these hidden treasures. If you're examining a 2006 penny, look for a doubling on the 2006 date or "In God We Trust" The image isn't perfectly aligned. Weird peeling or cracks on the surface. Rare coins are often slightly heavier or lighter. If you spot any of these, you could be sitting, or should I say, a copper mine. You might wonder, why would anyone pay so much for a penny? Well, coin collectors view rare coins like fine art or vintage cars. These errors make each penny unique, and uniqueness equals value. Plus, there's the thrill of the hunt. Finding one of these coins is like winning a mini lottery. Alright, folks, we've covered the rise of the 2006 D penny, the juicy errors that make it valuable, and even a personal tale to show you just how real this is. So, next time you're tempted to toss a penny aside, take a second look. That tiny coin might just be your ticket to the Millionaires Club. Before you go, I've got one favor to ask. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin lovers and treasure hunters. Trust me, we've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories to help you turn your spare change into serious cash. Who knew money could be so much fun? Hey there, treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through an old piggy bank, maybe looking for gas money or something to buy a coffee, and bam! You find a penny. But not just any penny. What if I told you that this little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million? Yep, a single, unassuming penny from 1969 with a tiny D mint mark could literally change your life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1969 D Lincoln penny. Stick around, because by the end, you might find yourself sprinting to your coin jar. Alright, so what makes this penny so special? First, let's talk basics. The 1969 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the little d below the date. Over 4 billion of these were produced, so it doesn't exactly scream rare, right? Wrong. Among these billions, a tiny fraction has a unique twist, a rare double die error on the obverse side. Now, let me break down what a double die is without making your eyes glaze over. Basically, it's a minting mistake where the design gets stamped twice, creating a shadowy or doubled effect on letters and numbers. On the 1969 D penny, you'll see this doubling on Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot that, congratulations, you might just be holding a millionaire's coin. Here's a quick story. Back in the day, my grandma had this big jar of coins. As a kid, I thought the jar was magic, like it held treasure. Fast forward to last summer, I was helping clean her attic, and guess what I found? That same jar. I spent hours sifting through it, dreaming of hitting the jackpot. Spoiler alert, no $1 million penny. But hey, it was fun imagining the possibilities. Anyway, let's talk about value. Why is this coin worth $1.9 million? The short answer: rarity and condition. Out of billions minted, only a handful with the double die error have been found, and collectors go wild for them. The most recent auction saw one sell for just shy of $2 million. Imagine someone paying that much for something you can fit in your pocket, but there's a catch: your 1969 D penny won't be worth millions if it's all banged up. Coin grading is key. Coins in mint state, meaning they look like they just rolled off the press, fetch the highest prices. So, if you're lucky enough to find one, treat it like it's made of gold, or better yet, platinum. Now, if you're like me, you're probably side-eyeing every penny you've ever touched. I actually went through my car cup holder last week and ended up with a pile of sticky, lint-covered coins. No double dies, just a weird smell. My advice? Start with cleaner coins. So, what's the moral of the story here? Don't underestimate the power of pocket change. That humble 1969 D penny could be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a really nice vacation. But remember, finding one takes a bit of luck and a lot of patience. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips and stories about coins that could make you rich, or at least keep you entertained. Who knows? The next video might inspire you to start your own treasure hunt. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds. Have you ever flipped through your pocket change and wondered if you're holding a small fortune in your hands? Well, grab your magnifying glass and a comfy seat, because today we're diving deep into the world of pennies, specifically the 1978 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, it's worth $1. Yes, you heard me, a whole, shiny dollar. But don't let that discourage you. The story behind this little copper coin is more fascinating than you'd think, and who knows? You might have a hidden gem just waiting to be discovered. First, let's talk about what makes this coin unique. The no mint mark means this penny was minted in Philadelphia. Back in the day, Philly didn't bother putting a mint mark on their coins. Why should we? They probably said. We're already the cool kids of the minting world. So, if your 1978 penny lacks a little D or S under the date, congratulations, it's a no mint mark penny from Philadelphia. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, but why is it worth $1? Great question. The value comes down to two things: condition and rarity. A regular 1978 penny is worth, well, 1 cent. But if your penny is in pristine, uncirculated condition, it can fetch up to $1 from collectors. That's 100 times its face value. Not too shabby for something most people toss in a coin jar without a second thought. Here's where it gets fun: finding one. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my old desk drawers, that one drawer that's a Bermuda Triangle for random stuff, and I found a penny that looked almost brand new. After a little research, I realized it was a 1978 no mint mark penny. Did I get rich? Nope, but I felt like I'd just uncovered buried treasure. Turns out, it was worth 75 cents in its slightly less than perfect condition. I celebrated by upgrading my coffee from regular to a large. It's the little wins, right, but let's not overlook the bigger picture. Coins like these are a gateway to understanding history and the economy. Think about it, this penny was minted in 1978. What else was happening then? Disco was still alive, Star Wars was a big deal, and gas was 63 cents a gallon. This coin has seen some stuff, folks. So, what's the takeaway here? Keep an eye on your pocket change. That 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny might not make you a millionaire, but it's still a cool piece of history and a fun conversation starter. Plus, it might just help you spring for a deluxe coffee upgrade like it did for me. And here's the deal, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other coins out there with fascinating stories and surprising values. Want to learn more? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got a treasure trove of tips, tricks, and tales about coins that could be hiding in your wallet right now. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, every penny has a story. Hey everyone! Imagine this: you're cleaning out a drawer, you find an old penny, and you think, this is probably worth, like, a few cents, right? But wait. What if I told you that penny could be worth over $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. I'm talking about the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And no, this isn't some fantasy, this penny is valued at a whopping $1.1 million. Now, you might be thinking, wait, what? A penny from 1979? That's the kind of change I find under my couch cushions. But trust me, this isn't your average, run-of-the-mill penny. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into why the 1979 no mint mark penny is way more valuable than you might think, and I'll share how you can spot one of these little treasures yourself. First things first, why in the world would a penny from 1979 be worth over $1 million? Great question. Here's the deal, most pennies are pretty, well, boring. I mean, they're copper, they've got Abe's face on them, and they just sit there in your wallet until you use them for parking meters or throw them into a wishing well. But every now and then, a penny comes along that is anything but ordinary, and now, when it comes to coins, the mint mark is super important. Normally, you'll find a mint mark on the front of a coin, under Lincoln's shoulder, which tells you where it was made, like D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But in 1979, there was a batch of pennies made without a mint mark at all. That's right, just plain old pennies with no identifying mark. And here's where the mystery begins. You see, most people didn't even know about these missing mint marks at first. They just went about their day, spending their pennies like any other. But eagle-eyed collectors eventually noticed this oddity. And when they dug deeper, they realized these unmarked pennies were incredibly rare. So rare, in fact, that they've become highly sought after in the coin world. And now, let's talk numbers. A typical 1979 penny without a mint mark is worth anywhere from a few bucks to maybe $100, depending on its condition. But if you find one in mint condition, that means practically perfect, like it just came out of a time machine from 1979, then you're looking at something worth over $1 million. Imagine holding a penny worth more than most people's cars, houses, and vacation homes combined. It's pretty wild, right? Let me tell you, this all reminds me of an experience I had a few years back. I was at a garage sale, just browsing around for some old records and vintage clothes. But then I spotted a jar full of pennies. Nothing unusual, right? It looked like one of those coin jar things where people throw their loose change. I asked the seller, "Hey, do you mind if I take a quick look through these?" She said, "Sure, go ahead, they're just pennies." I started sifting through them, half-heartedly, but something caught my eye, a penny that didn't look quite like the others. I didn't know it then, but I had just found a 1969 penny with an error that made it worth about $2,000. I ended up buying the jar for $5, took it home, and sure enough, that penny was worth a small fortune. I didn't find $1 million penny that day, but it was a huge reminder that you never know what treasure you might stumble upon in places you least expect it. So, always keep an eye out, alright? So let's get into the details. Why exactly is the 1979 no mint mark penny so valuable? It comes down to a few key factors. As I mentioned before, these pennies were made in limited quantities, and the lack of a mint mark makes them an anomaly. So, anytime you're dealing with something rare, especially something from over 40 years ago, it's bound to spark interest. Condition is everything when it comes to coins. A penny that's been sitting in your pocket for decades might look worn out, but if you find one that's practically flawless, without a single scratch, ding, or smudge, it's a game changer. The better the condition, the higher the value. There's always a demand for rare coins, especially those that have a compelling story behind them. And in this case, the 1979 no mint mark penny has quite the story. Coin collectors go wild over these pennies, and as demand rises, so does the price. Sometimes, proof versions of these coins can also drive the price up. Proof coins are special editions that are struck with a higher level of care and attention to detail. If you find a 1979 no mint mark penny in proof condition, you could be sitting on something even more valuable. So, what have we learned today? The 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a throwaway coin, it's a hidden gem that could be worth a serious chunk of change. From rarity to condition, this penny ticks all the boxes for coin collectors. And if you happen to find one of these bad boys tucked away in your collection or under your couch cushions, you might just be holding onto a small fortune. Before I wrap up, here's a quick tip: always check your loose change. Coins that seem ordinary to us could actually be worth a lot more than we think. The key is knowing what to look for, and that's what I'm here to help with. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could be worth a fortune, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a comment about your craziest coin discovery. I'll be back with more tips, tricks, and stories to help you become a coin expert, and maybe even find your next $1 million penny. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more tips to help you turn your pocket change into big-time profit. Hey everyone! Do you ever look at your pocket change and think, could I be holding a small fortune? Well, if you've got a 2011 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, you just might be holding more than a piece of copper. Stick around, because today, we're diving into why that humble little penny could be worth up to $1.2 million, and how you can spot one. Spoiler alert, it's not your average penny. Now, let's start with the basics. We all know pennies, right? They're the tiniest of the coins, but they sure do pack some weight in history and, sometimes, in value. But what's so special about the 2011 D mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, let me tell you, it's not just your run-of-the-mill change. This penny, depending on its condition and, in some rare cases, a little magic that happens during the minting process, can skyrocket in value. We're talking about up to $1.20 million. Sounds crazy, right? I know, when I first heard about this, I thought it was one of those buy it now for a penny, sell it for $1 million type deals. I mean, who would have thought a 2011 penny could be worth more than a used car? But here's the thing. The key to these pennies' value lies in a few specific things: rarity, condition, and sometimes, even a manufacturing error or two. The 2011 D mint mark penny has become a hot topic among coin collectors because of how scarce certain versions are, especially those with unique characteristics or errors like double dies or misstrikes. I'll admit, when I first started collecting coins, I didn't expect much from pennies. I mean, how much value can something smaller than a Tic Tac really have? But then, I found a 1972 penny, thought it was cool, put it aside, and boom, it's worth a couple $100. It was like finding buried treasure in my own living room. So, trust me when I say, the thrill of finding a rare penny can be a real rush. That's the kind of excitement we're talking about when hunting for rare pennies like the 2011 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, if you're thinking, I have a ton of pennies lying around. How do I know if one of them's a hidden gem? Great question. This is an obvious one. Look for the D-Mint mark, which tells you it was produced in Denver. The D is what differentiates it from the 2011 no-mint mark pennies and gives it its potential value. Like any collectible, condition is everything. The better the condition, the higher the value. We're talking about a coin that looks almost new, with minimal wear and tear, no scratches, and a clean surface. It's basically the coin equivalent of a collector's item still in the box. Errors: if you spot an error on your penny, like a double die or an off-center strike, you might be sitting on a goldmine. A simple mistake during minting could potentially add thousands, or, in rare cases, millions, to its value. So, what's the deal with the $1.2 million price tag? Well, it's not just about finding any 2011 D-Mint mark penny. It's about finding the right one. A coin that's in exceptional condition and has a rare error or unique feature can skyrocket in value. For example, some of these coins with minting flaws or errors have sold for six figures, which is pretty wild when you think about it. It's like finding a $100 bill on the ground, but in penny form. The catch is, not all pennies are created equal, and not all of them are going to make you a millionaire. But hey, the thrill of the hunt? That's worth it, right? Here's a little personal story to bring this all home. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my old coin collection, because who doesn't love a good organization day, right? And I stumbled upon a 2011 penny that I had just thrown in a jar, not thinking much of it. But then, after remembering the stories I'd heard about rare pennies, I checked it out. It had that D-Mint mark. I thought, could this be it? I took it to a local coin expert, and yup, I had a rare one. It wasn't $1 million penny, but it was worth a decent amount more than I thought. The lesson here? Don't underestimate your pennies. Every coin has a story and a potential value waiting to be discovered. So, there you have it. Your 2011 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be more valuable than you think. Who knew this little copper coin could potentially lead to big rewards? Remember to keep an eye on the condition, mint mark, and any possible errors that could make your penny a rare treasure. If you've got a penny collection, now might be the perfect time to go through it, because who knows what's hidden in that jar of change. Before you go rushing to check your coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more tips on coins worth money and strategies to make your collection shine. I'm always here to share more stories, tips, and a little humor along the way. Keep hunting for those rare coins, and who knows, you might just be holding your very own little fortune. Hey there, coin lovers! Have you ever looked at a penny, shrugged, and tossed it into your change jar without a second thought? I mean, it's just a penny, right? But what if I told you that there's a specific penny out there, just one tiny coin, that could be worth a whopping $1.3 million? Yup, you heard me right. We're talking about the 1973 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might be digging through your couch cushions for that exact coin. Alright, let's talk about the 1973 D-Mint mark penny and why it's worth so much. First things first, not all 1973 pennies are created equal. The key factor here is that mint mark, the little d you'll find under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. That tiny letter could make you richer than you think. So, what's so special about the 1973 D? Well, it's a rare error coin. These pennies were accidentally struck with a slight flaw that makes them highly sought after by collectors. But here's the kicker, it's not just any error, it's the kind of error that collectors drool over. We're talking about a coin that shouldn't even exist in the form it does. It's like if you went into a bakery for a loaf of bread, and they handed you a golden baguette instead. Weird? Yes. Valuable? Oh yeah, now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, but how do I know if I have one of these rare pennies? It's all about the condition. The ones that are worth millions are usually in mint condition, meaning they've barely been touched. And we're not talking about mint condition as in the wrapper from a candy bar that you've kept sealed since 1973, this is the real deal. These pennies should have a flawless appearance, as if they've just been freshly minted. Not an easy find, right? Let me share a quick personal story to make this a little more relatable. A while ago, I was cleaning out my grandparents' attic when I came across a dusty old jar of pennies. The thing had been sitting there for years, probably since the 70s. Of course, I wasn't expecting much, just some loose change. But as I flipped through the coins, I stumbled upon a 1973 penny. It had that slight shine to it, and I thought, maybe this is something special. So I did what any sensible person would do, I googled it. To my surprise, I found out that the coin I was holding had a potential market value of around $1.3 million. I nearly dropped it. Turns out, this coin was one of the rare ones that slipped through the cracks during the minting process. It was definitely a pinch me moment, but unfortunately, mine wasn't in mint condition. If only it had been, but let's not get discouraged. While not every 1973 penny will make you a millionaire, there are still plenty of valuable ones out there, just waiting to be discovered. And here's the thing, it's not just about the rare mint errors. Even pennies in decent condition can be worth more than their face value. So, check your change jar, look through those old coins, and you might just have something that could pay for a vacation or, who knows, a new car. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1973 mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of those little treasures that could make your day or your year. With a potential value of $1.3 million, it's worth taking a second look at that change you've been tossing around. Remember, condition is everything, but even finding one of these pennies can be an exciting start to your coin collecting journey. Before you go running to your couch cushions or grandma's attic, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories about rare coins just waiting for you to discover. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more of these crazy coin finds. So, go ahead, give it a click, and let's see what other hidden treasures are out there. Hey there, coin lovers! Stop what you're doing and hold on tight, because today we're diving into a coin that could change your life, or at least, make you look at pennies a whole new way. Now, we all know pennies are about as exciting as watching paint dry, but trust me, this one will leave you questioning every penny in your pocket. The 2006 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds ordinary, right? Wrong. This little piece of copper is worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth $1 million. Stick with me as I take you on a journey of discovery and show you how this humble coin has earned a spot in the big leagues of numismatics. Alright, so let's break this down. First things first, you're probably wondering, why in the world is a 2006 penny worth so much? Didn't they make, like, a gazillion of those? And I get it. When we think of valuable coins, we're usually talking about rare finds from 100 years ago, or something that's been tucked away in a vault somewhere. But here's the kicker, some modern coins, like this 2006 penny, can actually be worth a ton more than what you'd expect. And I'm not talking about finding one in a pocket of change and flipping it for a quick buck, no. This is the kind of find that could change your financial future. Let's talk about the coin itself. The 2006 Lincoln penny, it's part of the regular circulation, but if you find one that's in mint condition, well, you're looking at some serious cash. What makes this penny special, you ask? It's all about mint errors. This is where the magic happens. The 2006 pennies were produced in Denver, hence the D mint mark. But due to a little slip-up at the minting process, some of these pennies came out with a super rare error that makes them worth a lot of money. These errors could be anything from double strikes to misshapen designs, and even some coins that were minted with extra, unintended details that make them unique. And now, don't get all excited and start raiding your change jar. Not every 2006 penny is worth $1 million, far from it. But if you happen to stumble upon one in pristine condition, or if it has one of these rare errors, you could be looking at a serious payday. We're talking about a coin that could be the holy grail of your collection. So, what's the deal with the market value? Right now, the 2006 penny with the right error can fetch anywhere from a few $100s to a mind-blowing $1.4 million. Crazy, right? But it's true. Imagine you're at your local coin shop, and you hand over this penny that you found in a jar of old coins. The shopkeeper takes one look and goes, "Yup, that's a $1.4 million coin. That's enough to make anyone's jaw drop, but how do you even know if yours is worth that kind of money? Well, you'll need to get it graded by a professional. Coin grading is a whole science in itself, and if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare pennies in mint condition, you're in for a real treat. Keep in mind, though, not every penny with an error will automatically turn into a goldmine. The rarity, the condition, and how well known the error is all play a huge part in determining its worth. Now, let me tell you a little story to put things into perspective. A few years ago, I was rummaging through some old coins I had lying around. I was about as excited as a sloth on a lazy Sunday, just trying to get through the pile. And then, boom! I found a penny that looked just a little bit different. I thought to myself, well, this looks like a regular old penny, nothing special. But something told me to check it out. So, I did what any sane person would do. I googled it. To my surprise, that penny had a mint error, and I was staring at a coin that could be worth thousands of dollars. I felt like I'd just discovered the fountain of youth. Sadly, mine wasn't worth as much as the 2060 penny we're talking about today, but it was enough to get me seriously hooked on coin collecting. Who knew that a simple penny could hold so much potential? So, if you're out there wondering how you can get in on the action, here's a little advice: keep your eyes peeled. Pay attention to the pennies you find in your change, and don't just toss them aside. Look for signs of mint errors. Check for things like doubling, misstrikes, or design flaws. And don't forget to store your pennies properly. A nice little coin sleeve or holder will protect that precious penny from getting scuffed up. Alright, my fellow coin enthusiasts, if you learned anything today, let it be this: pennies are more than just pocket change. With the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth more than your car, your house, or even your vacation to the Bahamas. So, if you want more tips, tricks, and stories like this about valuable coins, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. I've got tons of content coming your way on coins worth money, and who knows, your next $1 million find might be just a video away. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, next time you find a penny, don't just let it slip through your fingers. It might just be the start of your own treasure hunt. Have you ever heard of a penny that's worth $1.5 million? No, I'm not talking about that shiny penny you find on the sidewalk. We've all picked one up, don't lie. I'm talking about the 1990 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yup, you heard me right. A penny from 1990, the year that gave us the classic hits like Nothing Compares to You and the first Home Alone movie, is worth way more than you'd expect. And I'm not talking about some collector's overpriced wishful thinking. This one is seriously worth a fortune. Stick around as I walk you through this rare gem, and you might just find yourself digging through your spare change. Let's dive in. Alright, so let's get the basics out of the way. A 1990 penny. You probably have a few in your change jar right now, just sitting there, doing nothing but collecting dust and holding down the loose paper clips. But one of these pennies, if it's a certain type, is worth a whopping $1.5 million. No, this isn't some exaggerated tale from your uncle who claims to have a rare baseball card. This is the real deal. Now, you might be asking, why is this penny so valuable? What makes it special? Well, let me take you through a little coin history. Normally, pennies minted in the US have a mint mark that shows where they were produced. For example, D stands for Denver, S is for San Francisco, and P means Philadelphia. But in 1990, the US Mint made a handful of Lincoln pennies with NO mint mark, meaning they were made in Philadelphia, but for some reason, they didn't stamp that tiny letter on them. Narrator, it's a small detail, but it turned out to be a pretty big deal for collectors. Why? Because those pennies were produced in fewer numbers than usual, making them rarer than your average penny from that year. And you know what they say. Rarer is better when it comes to collectibles. The rarity of these no mint mark pennies combined with the fact that they are in pristine condition makes them incredibly valuable. You're at a garage sale, casually flipping through a box of old coins. You pull out a penny that looks just like any other. It's shiny, maybe a little scuffed, but you give it a once-over and toss it in your not worth much pile. But, wait, what if it's a 1990 no mint mark? Suddenly, that penny is worth over $1 million. And if you have a few of them in great condition, you could be looking at a serious payday. I know, It sounds too good to be true, but stick with me, because the proof is in the pudding. A few years ago, someone sold one of these pennies for $1.5 million, and it was a game changer for coin enthusiasts. Now, every coin collector, amateur or professional, is combing through their pennies, trying to find that elusive 1990 no mint mark treasure. And guess what? You might already have one in your possession without even knowing it. This story brings me to something that I learned the hard way. I was at a flea market once, just casually browsing, and I came across this jar of coins. I remember thinking, just a bunch of loose change. Nothing special. But what did I find? A rare coin, not the 1990 penny, unfortunately, but it was a rare coin. I almost passed it up because I didn't recognize it, but luckily, I asked the vendor. Turned out, I'd almost left hundreds of dollars on the table. If you've learned anything from me today, it's this: always take a second glance at your change. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. So, how do you know if your 1990 penny is the one worth $1.5 million? Well, you'll need to check a few things. First, look for the absence of the mint mark. That's the key. Second, inspect the condition. If it's in uncirculated or near mint condition, it's even more valuable. And lastly, get it appraised. There are professional coin appraisers who can help you determine the true value of your coins. But let's be real for a second, most of us won't find $1 million penny in our change jar. However, that doesn't mean you should give up on your coin collection dreams. There are plenty of other coins worth a lot of money out there, some for as little as a few bucks and others for thousands. It's all about keeping your eyes open and knowing what to look for. And that brings me to something I just have to say. Coin collecting isn't just about making money, although, let's face it, that's definitely a fun bonus. It's about the thrill of the hunt. It's like being a treasure hunter in your own home, rummaging through old coin jars and discovering something amazing. Plus, it's a great way to learn a little history along the way. So, there you have it, the 1990 no mint mark penny, a coin that's worth more than most of us will ever see in a lifetime. Whether you find one or not, the world of rare coins is full of surprises and opportunities. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next lucky collector to stumble upon $1 million penny. Before you go running off to search through your coin jar, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on tips about valuable coins and strategies to grow your collection. We're here to guide you through every step of the treasure hunt. And hey, if you find a 1990 no mint mark penny, be sure to let me know, maybe we can split the winnings, right? Just kidding, or am I? Alright, folks, keep hunting, keep collecting, and as always, happy coin searching. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. You know, when we think of valuable coins, we often picture rare gold, shiny silver, or maybe even those old-timey coins from the 1800s. But today? Today, we're talking about a penny. Yep, you heard that right. A humble, everyday penny. But not just any penny, this little guy could be worth a whopping $1.6 million. How does that sound? I mean, $1.6 million from a coin that you could easily mistake for one of the thousands lying around in your couch cushions? Stick with me, folks. I'm about to blow your mind with the story of the 1965 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and trust me, you'll want to check every penny in your pocket after this. So, let's dive right in. You're probably wondering, how in the world does a 1965 penny turn into a $1.6 million treasure? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's rewind the clock to 1965. We're in the middle of the Vietnam War, the Beatles are taking over the world, and the US Mint is churning out coins left and right. But something strange happens that year. You see, most of the 1965 pennies were minted with the usual D or S mint marks. But there's a special, super rare version that was made without a mint mark at all. Now, if you're new to coin collecting, a mint mark is like the coin's signature, it's the little letter that tells you where it was made. D means Denver, S means San Francisco, and no mint mark, well, it's a mystery. And guess what? That little mystery is the reason this penny is so valuable. Now, here's the kicker, it wasn't supposed to happen. The mint forgot, or maybe even decided, to leave off the mint mark on some of these pennies. It was a mistake, a fluke, a happy accident. And people love accidents that make them rich, right? But here's where it gets even more interesting. These 1965 no mint mark pennies are super rare, so rare, in fact, that only a handful of them were ever found. And as you can imagine, once collectors and experts caught wind of this mistake, the demand skyrocketed. People started to realize these pennies could be worth a ton of money. But not just any 1965 penny can make you rich. Oh no, no, no. You have to have the right one. These pennies need to be in top condition, preferably with minimal wear and tear, because even the tiniest scratch can knock off thousands of dollars from the value. We're talking pristine, well-preserved beauties here. So, if you find one that's been buried in a jar for decades, it could be your ticket to the big bucks. I had a penny in my pocket once that I thought was worth something, only to realize it was from 1983, and I spent it on a cup of coffee. Yikes, right? Moral of the story: always check before you spend. So, let's talk numbers. A 1965 no mint mark penny in top-notch condition can fetch you anywhere from $1,000 to $1.6 million, depending on its rarity and condition. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Is it possible to find one of these in my change at the grocery store? Honestly, it's a long shot, but hey, people have found rare coins in their pockets, at flea markets, and even in old family heirloom collections. So, never underestimate the power of a little luck. Imagine the story you'd have if you stumbled across one of these pennies. You'd be telling people, I found a coin worth $1.6 million and spent the rest of the day making life-changing decisions. But for real, folks, if you're serious about hunting for rare pennies, there are a few things you want to look for. First, check the mint mark or, in this case, the lack of one. Then, make sure the penny is in good shape. Lastly, keep it in a safe place. You don't want your $1 million find to end up in the washing machine, right? Believe me, I've almost lost a few finds in the laundry myself. But hey, if you've got one of these rare pennies, you're in the money. So, there you have it. The 1965 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might look like a regular old penny, but it's anything but ordinary. It's a true gem that could change your life if you find one. And if you're thinking, I'll just check all the pennies in my piggy bank, then get going, because you never know what treasure you might be sitting on. Do you want more tips, tricks, and hidden coin treasures? Are you ready to hunt down more rare coins and maybe even find your own $1.6 million gem? Then hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. I've got plenty of coin secrets to share with you. You don't want to miss out on what's coming next. Who knows, maybe your next video could be the one where I talk about how you found your $1 million penny. So, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about your favorite coins or any crazy coin finds you've had. I'd love to hear about them. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, keep your eyes peeled and your change jar ready. You never know where you'll find your next fortune.